No.
I just broke my fan.
All right, we are live. We are live. Welcome to the Heartbeat Town Hall. Mortis, to kick us off.
Thank you guys, everyone, for joining on. Sorry for the comical level of technical issues that we have knocked through to get here. I mean, one thing after another. Which is always, by the way, why I appreciate doing events with other community builders, because you guys are very used to the sheer volume of things that can go wrong as you're running an event. But all to say, we are here. There it is, Stephanie. That's what it was. Mercury's in retrograde, and that's what's causing all these issues.
100%.
I'm glad someone could just hit the nail on the head. Thank you guys so much again for joining live. We're super excited to have you here. What we're doing today is our August Town Hall. So what that means is we're going to spend a little bit of time today talking about everything that we did over the last month of Heartbeat, what we have coming up over the next month of Heartbeat, and then finally leaving the last third of the call open for anything that you want to make sure that we have our eyes on. Feature requests that maybe haven't gotten as much love as they should, areas of the product that you think could use a little bit more attention, or features that maybe are completely out of left field but make a meaningful difference for your business and more for your community on Heartbeat. We love keeping that extra open space just because there's so many things that we've learned in that time, and we have totally shifted our roadmap based off of feature requests and feedback that have come up during these town halls. We've made not just hey, let's do this next week, but full 6-month pivots based off of the feedback that we get here. So really excited to have you guys all here. So my request for everyone is to just be present. If you have any questions, if there's anything that you're thinking, feel free to drop it into the chat, whether you're joining us from YouTube, whether you're joining us from Riverside, feel free to go ahead and drop it in the chat. It's all going to come into the same place. And we're going to make sure that all those chat messages, any of the questions that pop in, anything that you guys are curious about, we're going to try and make sure that every single message gets answered today. So again, just as we're starting off, the big thing that I really want to call out here is this is your chance to really be a part of where Heartbeat's headed and help us cast our vision in the right direction, hear about what's coming next, and really give us the feedback that we need to hear to build the next phase of the business. So to go ahead and get started, we're going to go ahead and kick off. So Nick is going to start off with everything that happened in the last month on the product side of Heartbeat. So Nick, whenever you're ready, feel free to go ahead and share your screen.
Awesome, thanks. So yeah, very excited to share what we worked on last month for y'all in the product. So firstly, I'd like to mention that the Create Voice Room button that you all loved and knew from before the UI update that we pushed last month, it's back. Yay! So if you used that feature where your members can just hop in, exploding voice rooms, we called them, where they hop in and then when they leave, it self-destroys itself. It's back. So yeah, Nicole, happy to get it back up for y'all and hope y'all get some use out of it again. Just a slight oversight on our end, but we're happy that it's back and up and running. The second thing that I'd like to talk about, what we pushed last month, is a moderation update. So community moderation is a big task, and many of y'all, as small businesses, are doing that all on your own, or maybe with just a few little helpers. So last month we pushed the ability to disable comments on documents, and you could do that on the section level. And what we're hoping this helps you do is if you have document sections that you really don't need that community engagement piece on, you can just toggle off comments and not have to worry about moderating those parts of the community. In general, we are very bullish on having comments on documents. We think it's a great way to have your comments that may be 1 year, 2 years, 3 years old still feel alive today without having to update them. But we also understand that sometimes it's just better to turn them off for some communities. So I'm just going to show you real quick where to find that. If you go to your resources section, or whatever you call your docs section, and let's say I wanted to disable comments on all the docs in the About the Hearth section, I would just click Edit, and then I see a new option here, Disable Comments. I would just toggle that on and click Update. So it happens at the document section level, and now any documents within that section will not be able to have comments on them. It's as simple as that. Cool? Now, the other thing that you have all hopefully noticed by now, because we've sent pop-ups, emails, Mike's beautiful televideos have talked about it in length, and we also talked about it last month on our town hall, is the update for events in Heartbeat. It's officially live for everybody. I believe last month it was just live in beta, but now, whether you want it to be on the beta or not, it is live for everybody. And very excited of a few things that have changed with that update. One of them being event ticketing. So now we can support tickets for your events. Let's say you do early bird tickets. Let's say you do standard VIP premium tickets. Whether your events are in person or online, we support that for you. Another thing that we support directly now, which wasn't supported in the past directly, is doing paid one-time events. So if I wanted to just make one of my events paid just this one time for people in my community or for some people in my community, I can do that now using the event ticketing feature. And it's super easy to do that now. I'm going to just do a quick demo of that for y'all. I'm going to create an event, and right here on the right side, I'm going to go ahead and, actually I'm in a community where payments is not enabled. Let me go here. And I'm going to go ahead and create an event. And for this event, we're going to not worry about all this fun stuff here. In fact, let me just pre-populate it with a template so that we have something to work with. And I want to make this event paid, just for my users, just this one time. And in the past, you had to create an offer and do all this fun workaround stuff. And instead now, you just click this drop down, click paid, set the price, and click create. Hands off. That's it. Hands off, bakers. I've been watching a lot of British Bake Off lately. Big fan. So that's just one of the many things that have now been added to the events feature. Of course, you can click advanced and go even more detail about creating separate tickets for specific groups. You can make your event available to the general public and make tickets specifically for the general public or mix and match them. All of this is possible with the ability to set capacity limits on both the ticket level and the entire event level. So now you could actually set those thresholds if you have a specific maximum number of people that can be on the event. And lastly, just setting RSVP deadlines. If you're doing something like an RSVP deadline for early bird tickets where it's like $5 if you're early and $10 for standard pricing, you can now do that as well. So tons of new things here, and the reason why we're investing so heavily in events here is because we know that events are a huge value driver for the top of funnel growth for your community. The more public events you're running, the more likely you are to get visibility into what your community is doing and the value that you bring. We run events as top funnel lead gen for Heartbeat. You will notice lots of tutorial events in the Hearth, and since we've found so much success and know that it works, we're trying to pass as much of that down onto y'all in terms of best practices, but also with a feature set that can support your growing business. Cool?
I love the little stealth demo you slipped in for templates there, by the way, Nick. Nice. Like a demo inside of a demo. Well done.
Thank you.
What I love too is Nick really touched on this, the idea that events are just such a perfect entry point into your community. 'Cause, if you think about it, sometimes selling the membership and the subscription directly, it feels like a big commitment coming right out the gate. But giving people access to a public event, even if it costs them $10, $20, $50, it's a really nice and easy way to handhold them into what the community experience is going to look like and give them a taste of that for just an hour. And that's what we're really excited about. Is we've seen so many people do this as a great way to bring new folks in, but up till now you just didn't have the flexibility of how you took these events that you were running so often and being able to build that into your revenue stack so that you had more avenues of how you could actually monetize people across the different areas of the spectrum. Some people that were willing to pay subscriptions versus some people that could only really afford the one-off. And so this update really now gives you the flexibility to experiment a lot more with your revenue stack and how you actually want to bring in and bring on new customers.
Yeah, and I'll piggyback off of that. I love the ability to email different groups that we have baked in. I did demo this in a newsletter, but I'd be remiss to not mention it again. Guys, when people RSVP, you have their contact information and you have implied consent to communicate with them. That is everything you need to market and help grow your community, baked right into the event features. I just, as a marketing nerd, love that. And I love that for all of you, now that you all have it.
Love that. And thank you for the segue, Mr. Segue King. Jumping over to the Hearth, I just wanted to quickly show you the backend, the new backend that you have for your events. So I'm going to just go to running these random Friday marketing support lives, and you'll notice you have this toolbar at the top now for all of your events that you're hosting. The first thing you'll see is a preview of your event, because we always want you to feel like you are in the same community that your members are in. So we're always going to start you on the preview mode like that. But then if you want to go ahead and manage your event, you go to the event details, and you can see of all those that you've invited, who is confirmed, who is declined. You can view each list and search from them. You could export these lists as well. And then from there, you can also send a blast via email. So like Mike was saying, all of these people that have been invited to your event are marketable. So whether it's leading up to the event or right after the event, I can click send blast, and I can choose who I'd like to send this email blast to, everyone invited, or maybe just those that are definitely coming, and compose and send straight from Heartbeat. And then if this is a past event, you'll also see a checkbox up here for attended. So if I only want to send a recording to those that attended, and that was kind of like the pull, is you have to come to get the recording, I can do that as well. So a few very exciting like marketing side things to do here as well. The last thing I'll mention on the event side of things here is with workflows, we also support, we still support workflows on events, but we also support it for tickets of events. So you can have different workflows for each ticket of an event. Let's say you have a VIP ticket and a standard one. Maybe anybody who purchases the VIP ticket, you send them certain DM sequence or email sequence that's different from your standard ticket purchaser. But yeah, any questions that I can answer before we move on here?
Let's see, guys. Feel free to, in the chat, if you have any questions about the events, ticketing, and major upgrade that we rolled out, feel free to float them through. Let's see. We have some feedback from Stephanie. Stephanie did share, and I'll try to, it's a little bit long. Hopefully it fits on the screen. Just love this detail at the invitation level, RSVP levels. I have some who need to have things on their calendar and lose the emails, and others who don't, but otherwise want it on their calendar is what didn't fit in the little graphic there on screen. So yeah, that's what it's for. It's for you to be able to customize that to suit your members' experience. Nicole did have a question here. Got a call, not a problem. Did you say we could do a poll of members who've RSVP'd?
So not exactly, but you can email anybody who is RSVP'd, declined, or invited. So it's not like an embedded poll like today in Heartbeat, but you can send questions and follow-ups via workflow or through an email blast.
All right, we've got thanks and appreciation coming in as well. Sandra, I do see your question there about doc hashtags. I'm gonna put that top of the list for questions we get to in the later section though. All right, so hang tight, just a quick minute.
Well, great. So then I'd like to pass it off to you, Mike, to tell us what you did last month in growth.
Sure. Do you want to just keep driving on
Sure.
the screen share? All right, cool. All right, so I want to celebrate some amazing milestones that we've seen you guys achieve. We applaud them all on our side, but now it's our turn to clap in your face and give you the applause. So congrats to everyone here. We've crossed 13 million in revenue earned by community builders. That's your money in your pocket. Super proud of all of you to do this. What is so fascinating, guys, if you remember, we just hit 12. So like you guys are, we call it hockey sticking, right? You have that long, flat blade of the hockey stick, and then you've got the handle going up. You guys are doing that. As a collective whole, communities are excelling on Heartbeat, and I'm really proud of all of you for doing that. Congrats, and good marketing. I also want to let you guys know that we're now at the milestone of 150 new communities signing up on Heartbeat every week. We're averaging that amount. We've actually hit at the highest high recently, like almost 192-ish. Sometimes we're just slightly below the 150 point, but we're pretty solidly at 150 now from like a trailing average. So you're getting a lot of peers joining your cohort of people who are building stuff in Heartbeat and making their community vision real on this platform. So congrats to those who have succeeded in making money, and welcome to everybody who is joining us every single week. And major shout out to the 29 communities who have crossed the 100K threshold in earnings. So 29 communities is not a fluke. It is not a statistical outlier. That is proof that it can be done more than 24 times, and folks are doing this in short order. So really proud of some very impressive launches I'm seeing you guys do. I'm living vicariously through your success. I'm proud of you. I'm directly nudging your button, your stuff to happen. I'm just happy to be a part of this and watch it. And I'm like the nerd who's in the dashboards looking at everything. And I'm like, oh, this person, yay, you made it. That's me on the back end. You can't see it, but I'm happy for all of you. So congrats to everybody. Super great.
Yeah,
Give yourself a clap.
Every time you guys pass a revenue milestone, there's a mic on the back end that's just peering and excited for you.
I'm looking into the dashboards. I'm looking in the dashboards and I'm like, yes, nice. I'm just small little visceral victory moment. So great. Keep them coming, guys. I need my fix. When you guys do that. All right. So other than things that we've achieved and milestones we've hit, we've been working on a couple things to help support growth, right? So projects and initiatives in the last month. You guys are getting my newsletter. I've been churning that out every week. It goes out on Wednesdays, very rarely a Thursday if something weird happens. Mostly it's that I live rurally and my internet upload is garbage. But I've been focusing this newsletter on not just product education, which historically is this is what we shipped this week. It's also community marketing education. I'm really trying to bring to you the simple and effective things that we are seeing work and the marketing logic behind some of the features that are baked into Heartbeat, because it's helpful to kind of reintroduce things to you if you haven't thought about using them in a unique way to grow. And my focus is laser on you guys growing, because I feel like we can not just, we all win together. If I can bring the marketing expertise, not just to helping us find new community builders, but helping the community builders we have do better, we're all going to win. So that's been a major focus for me. We also have been seeing a lot of YouTube channel growth. So we have all of these events live streamed out on YouTube. And we are starting to pick up organic distribution for our live streams. So recently we had a tutorial that had 12 folks who didn't RSVP through the Hearth, who didn't know who Heartbeat was at all, just tune in for one of our shows. And we're like, I don't know who you are, what you do, but I think this is awesome. So I'm just going to stick around. And they hung out. And actually the last town hall that we went live on had some awesome fans. Nick got a new fan. I think you had a groupie, just from stranger to groupie inside of one hour town hall. So YouTube's been doing great things for us. Really excited for that content marketing channel. If you guys are on LinkedIn and you don't follow Heartbeat's company page, please do, and check out our LinkedIn newsletter. Completely different than the weekly update newsletter that I send out by email. We showcase successful communities. We've got great content recaps in there, some unique feedback information, really meant to be its own standalone piece of content. So if that's your platform of choice, go check that out as well. So subscribe on YouTube and follow us on LinkedIn. We also been working on scaling up Google, Meta, which would be Facebook, Instagram, Threads, ads, and YouTube ads. So we're not using YouTube ads to grow YouTube. We're using YouTube ads to share information about Heartbeat, specifically our live walkthroughs. So many of you do these, and if you haven't in a while, you've been sitting on a free trial, or you're maybe thinking about a free trial, this is a great way to get all your questions answered, to see the best practices, and to understand all the ways the platform works. We're using YouTube ads to serve this invitation up to people, and we've been averaging, Nick, what did we get last, 80 people? I think 80 some people who showed up to the last one. We were previously getting 20 people, so that's growing and doing really well. Continuing to optimize Google and Meta as well for those ads. And I did spend this last month coordinating with some influencer marketing events. So we've picked out 2 influencers in the online creator economy kind of space, one of whom has a community on Heartbeat. And we are going to do some special events with them in the coming months, where we're going to go out and do either live streams or other sorts of webinar, podcast kind of appearances. Really excited to debut those when we have them nailed down. And we have been working on conversion rate optimization. So that's just a marketing term for make funnel leak less. And that's what I've been focusing on, making sure that the website makes it easy for people to start trials, that when they start trials, they are more successful in understanding the platform and how they can use it to bring their community vision to life. Those have been the major growth updates that we've been doing there. I am behind on the chat, so if you guys have questions, I will go check on that in a minute.
Just lots of love in the chat.
Awesome. Okay, Thank you for watching it for me, Nick.
Cool. The one question popped in from Mark, which is, are we sharing who the influencers are yet? Yeah, we're gonna do that. You heard it here first, guys. Okay, so forgive the clickbait
that was not clickable there. So yes, we are doing 2 influencer events. We have one coming up later this month with the Nomads agency. So Alethea is one of our preferred partners. The Nomads agency did a tutorial with us where they use quizzes as lead magnets and a funnel experience to help acquire new customers for your business. We're having Marissa on their LinkedIn Live event. So stay tuned. We will be sharing when that is coming up. We'll get the links out to everybody, and you can follow both the Nomads agency and Heartbeat for those updates. Look at this. Check it out. Oh, Heartbeat. Oh, you're sharing links, other links, Siobhan. Okay, I thought we were like getting really proactive and finding the link for the event. I'm like, wow, that was fast. Okay. The other one is Leah Turner. So Leah Turner and the Holt community, which is built on Heartbeat. Leah does LinkedIn Live events to her some 200,000 LinkedIn followers, and we are going to have a panel session. Mortza going to come to talk about Heartbeat. Myself, I'll be there to talk about growth and marketing. Leah will be hosting, and her tech person who helps all of the implementation within her community. And we'll just be doing kind of a co-interview roundtable session, talking about what it takes to succeed and grow really well, and the things that Leah wishes she could have told her younger self when she first started the community. So if you want to learn those things, keep an eye out, and that's a session you don't want to miss.
Awesome. If there are no other questions, Siobhan, you want to take it away with what support did last month? Oh, and I think you're muted.
Can you hear me? Because I think it's going through my MacBook and not my AirPods. So yeah, y'all are keeping us busy. I am not worried about job security. But the great thing is that your tickets are your voice. And when you write into us, then we go and bother Nick and Mayhole, and we're like, hey, you know, people are finding it hard to use this, or they really, really, really want to see this other thing, which is how event tickets came about, by the way, because y'all wrote in and kept saying, yeah, but how do I, this is a workaround, it's crazy, it doesn't make sense, it's confusing. And we bothered Nick and Mayhole enough until they were like, okay, fine. So now you have it. So keep writing in, and you know, over the summer, I know a lot of you are working on, you know, revamping what your community looks like, looking at your offers again, and getting ready for, you know, that fall thing. Because you can see that if you scroll down just a little bit more, in August, we're already at about 500 tickets that we've replied to. So, like I said, y'all are keeping us busy. And plus, with these new features rolling out, you're going to have questions. That's totally normal. We're here for that. You know, we want to improve anything that's happening, not just in the product, but in our resources and docs as well. So a lot of the stuff that happens with support is not as visible because it's back-end stuff where we're having conversations with product and engineering about, you know, like what's going on. We're figuring out better ways to communicate what you're saying to them. And thanks, if someone can fix that typo, that would be great. One of the things we do is try to make sure there are no typos in the Help Center. With all of the UI changes that have happened over the past several months, we've been looking really hard to make sure that the Help Center has new images, new videos. We're getting updated articles. We're also adding new articles, including one that's just about how to invite members into your community. We noticed that a lot of people were just confused about, like, how do I even get someone in here to begin with? And you know, now this is just a really easy one. And there's a new video for how to create an affiliate program that has the updated UI and is a lot easier to follow. That is, I believe, all the bullet points I have there. So, yeah.
Awesome. And we just have one question. Let's see. Oh, from Shayla. For Mike, the newsletter is different from the weekly digest.
Yes, indeedy. So that weekly digest you get is from the Hearth. That comes out with a full synopsis of all the different action that's happening peer-to-peer in our customer community space, as well as event recaps, recordings, new docs, everything we put in there from the tutorial hosts. The weekly newsletter is an email publication that I put out. I record a unique video every week where I deliver information either about the product, about how to use the product, how to grow a community, or all of the above. And that goes out on Wednesdays. So if you're not getting it, send us your email. I'm going to make sure we got to get you in there. We're going to make it happen. I'll double check why that might be. So we'll get that fixed. Easy peasy.
Cool. Mike, do you want to take over the community section, or should I do that?
No, you got it. I was just catching up on the chat. You guys are keeping me busy over there. All right, cool. So community updates. As a reminder, we run a lot of events that are designed to help you grow successful community businesses. And we have replays. They are on YouTube. I highly recommend you subscribe because not only do you get the full recordings there, you get awesome shorts, the best of the best kind of mashups of the either funny, fun, or highly impactful educational moments. So subscribe to our YouTube channel. It is you can go to heartbeat.chat/YouTube as a quick way to get there. And then also in the Hearth. So the Hearth is our, like I said, our customer community. We have all the recordings in there. We also have links to special additional documents that our tutorial hosts share. So it's worth joining just for those additional resources. Most of our tutorial guest hosts give a lot of things that are normally paid access for free when they present with us. So definitely want to get in there and check that out. Recently, we had Lisa Princik on a winning membership blueprint, focusing on the beginnings of structure to a sold-out launch. Really worth a rewatch if you're looking for fundamental roadmaps on that. Very impactful. Elijah Drown came out with AI-powered content for busy community builders. The idea is how to encourage connection and humanity by preserving the human elements of what you want to do and automating the stuff that's just a distraction from that. So you can bring the most and authentic part of yourself to your community. Creating posts, prompts for events, chat messages, all of that. And just yesterday, we had Laura Sprinkle with an affiliates roadmap. Now, Laura has a history of high levels of success with affiliate revenue. Her systems have generated $44 million in affiliate revenue. That was the playbook she shared. Get into the Hearth, get on YouTube, go watch that if you missed it, because I took notes, like big notes, like pages. So, and everybody oh, I know marketing and all that. She knows affiliates. Like she's deep into that. So definitely worth checking out. Really awesomely grateful to have her do this event. Also, as a reminder, we have interest groups in the Hearth. So if you like specific topics like marketing, if you like topic like learning how to use courses, either to create them and sell them, and if you like, can you scroll up a little bit more, Nick? Misty Dorman has the automations support group. So if that's another topic that you want to learn more about, these are special interest groups that you can choose to join. You are not automatically opted in the Hearth, but when you do, you access all of the events that these special interest groups have, as well as channels to chat about that topic. So really worth checking them out, not just for the topic, but also for how special interest groups work in a community, which could be a really cool thing you can swipe and do in your own space, just to think. Awesome. That's what we have for communities. We're going into the future. Now we got future stuff.
Amazing. So let's jump into what we have coming soon. And then can I get just a quick check from the Heartbeat team? Is my mic okay now? I heard it was too quiet.
Yeah, you boosted it. Nice. It looks good.
Lovely. Thank you guys for the comments and chat. Very helpful. Big news is we're hiring for quite a few different roles across the team. We're pretty much across every single piece of Heartbeat. We are expanding the team, hiring 2 engineers, a founding product designer. Mike's hiring a marketing manager. We're hiring multiple support agents, and then I'm also personally hiring a chief of staff as well too. So we are really, really excited about just the expansion that is happening over probably the next 2-ish months of the team. We've got some very fast growth in the hopper right now, and so if you know anybody that is interested in working at Heartbeat or would be game for it, please apply. We'd love to chat with them. We'd love to hear from them. And honestly, what we found is every time we ask our community, you guys, to send this out to folks, we just find these wildly incredible people that we're so excited to talk to. I've never sent you guys a job opening and not been just so ridiculously happy at the quality and the types of folks that you've sent over. So if you're interested, just go to jobs.heartbeat.chat. We have all the job descriptions. If they're not there already, they'll be added over time. Basically, as we have jobs pop up and as we have them ready for release, we basically will pop them in. But yeah, any jobs that you're interested in there, please shoot them over to friends, apply yourself. We'd love to chat with you. And we're really, really excited for this next phase of growth that's happening here.
Guys, this is how he got me. I just want you to know, that was this soft pitch, almost a year ago that I was oh, well, yeah. And then slippery slope right in. That's how it happened. But honestly, one of the best choices I've ever made. Super awesome team. Yes, I'm biased, but I've been on both sides of this wall, and it's worth it.
our favorite thing is promoting customers into team members. Like we did that with Mike, we did that with Nick, we've done that with so many people, and I mean, just it's always the absolute best.
I love how Rick in the chat remembered that it was after I listened to Bree's podcast. Yes, Rick, it was. Thank you for being that. That's like not stalkery. It's totally enthusiastic. I love
That's
it. It was
deep
great.
lore.
That's
love
deep
it.
lore. Yeah, that's heartbeat lore. That's good. Fantastic.
Oh, so exciting. Yes, Rick, I did see the marriage photos. So excited for her. They did some cool ones. If you guys haven't seen it on our email list, they did like a full underwater picture for their wedding announcement. It's crazy.
Oh yeah, next level. Next level.
Next level. Awesome. But yes, if you are interested in any of these roles, feel free to apply at jobs.heartbeat.chat. We are looking at every single application that comes in, and as we have new roles getting ready, we're releasing those through the jobs page. Awesome. So that's everything on my end for the coming soon. Let's go ahead and shift over into product. Nick, if you want to take it away.
Yeah, speaking of hiring, that's where me and Mehul will be quite busy this month, is hiring and onboarding for the 3 roles that we'll be adding to our team. Very, very excited about that. There's just like so much that we want to work on over the next quarter and 6 months and year, and just like really enthusiastic that we'll be bringing on some new team members that both have like a deep skill set, but also like a fresh mind on like the direction of Heartbeat and what they see. That's always like the most exciting thing to see when you have a new hire, is like their vision for Heartbeat, in addition to like what we've communicated as our vision. Having that fresh perspective is really valuable. So that is one thing we'll be spending a lot of time on this month. In addition to that, we're continuing the quality of life fixes that we've been doing over the past couple months. Keep sending in through support any like quality of life fixes that you'd like to see. Like we want to keep adding to that sprint. We've been banging them out, and I just want to reduce the amount of paper cuts y'all experience on the platform, and we've been doing a great job so far. So I'm looking forward to seeing more come in. And then the last thing we're focusing a lot of time on is admin onboarding improvements. We are continuously making the onboarding process for new communities better on the platform. And as you can see, Mike has given us no shortage of communities joining every week. We've broken that 150 per week mark. And now we're really focusing on making sure as many of those 150 are succeeding in their first 2 weeks on the platform. So we're going to be spending a nice amount of time on improving Kickstart, making sure that especially for paid communities, you're set up for success early, knowing how to monetize your community, confident with the Stripe integration, and if you're unsure of like what business you're running, we're giving you those best practices and helping you understand the different membership models that you can approach. So all of this is like both a product improvement and a best practice and resource improvement from the help center, from marketing emails, from product. We're going to all be collaborating on this big project, and I'm sure Mike will talk a little bit more about that in his update. Mike, any things you want to share on your end?
I'll piggyback right off of that into my list here. So yeah, this new admin onboarding empowerment is kind of the way I'm looking at it. Is I want people who come to Heartbeat to be fully empowered to manifest the dream. Everybody comes here. There's no shortage of aspiration when somebody spins up a Heartbeat trial, when they decide to build that community for the first time. In many cases, I'm learning folks have like been dreaming a long time before they start our trial too. Like I've seen some stories where people are like, this has been like in the hopper for 2 years, as I've seen some, and they're starting. So like, if you're ready to start, we want to give you as much of a tailwind as possible. And so offer launch support. Really, what we're starting to see as I've dug into the metrics, so like I'm the nerd behind the scenes looking at all the dashboards and everything, right? Is if we are saying that when you guys launch successfully, quickly, as in close to when you start building your community, not only do you get to make money right away, but we're seeing an interesting trend over time that the folks who launch quickly continuously increase their money over time. So it's so important that we can make that launch as well supported and easy for you as possible. So from a content education standpoint, making the product easy to navigate, simple copy, templates, playbooks, all of these sorts of ideas are coming to fore as like what we're really focusing on, because I've seen it again and again. There's a trend line. It's like the community that launches and then waits and waits and waits because they're either unsure or unconfident or not empowered to launch, they may make money, but it takes them longer. Folks who come in and know exactly what to do and carry that ambition and aspiration into action right away, their money goes up and their chart goes up and to the right. They just keep growing revenue. I want that for everyone across the board. So that's really the focus that we're going to put into from my side as I partner with Nick and the rest of the team on this one. Also, we're really looking ahead to some new content marketing motions. Been focusing a lot on Murtaza's founder brand. So the idea of building out his personal brand, primarily on LinkedIn, but potentially other social platforms, where he can be a thought leader that he is, but actually show it to everyone and bring that content out there in an accessible way. Really excited because we're all founders, and I say we, I include myself in that bucket because I'm a community builder too. We're all founders, just of different ventures and niches and segments, but the founder journey has some common chords that all resonate together. And I think that his story can be a huge source of inspiration and education to everybody. And this means that we are going to be bringing to the world, probably soonish, I got to figure out exactly when, a Heartbeat podcast. And so, yes, we've decided we want to go in on long form content where Murtaza will be a major cornerstone of that, guests as well as his own solo sessions and thoughts to help make a piece of a content series for that you all can binge and digest and listen to when you're mowing the lawn like I was, and eventually become a slippery slope to being a team member and all the other things that happened to me in the lore dump that apparently people are digesting here. Because it's just exciting. And that'll lead to a wonderful amount of just content waterfalling, where a podcast transcript can become blogs and posts and newsletters, as well as social posts, vertical video clips, etc. So really excited about seeing that come down the pipeline. And hiring. Yes, I have to get a marketing manager in here because one person can only do so much of all of these things. And I'm really excited about what that means for the future of the team.
And what I'll throw in really quickly, because I want to talk to those first two bullet points as well, is because they're kind of related, right? Is we want to make sure that that momentum that Mike was talking about, it's surprising just how much we're seeing that through the numbers and the analytics is when you get a little bit of that momentum, just how quickly you're able to take that and pull it and grow and build out your business. And what we're really excited about is, there's so much on our end that we can give to you to help build up more and more of that momentum, removing some of the roadblocks, some of the technical annoyances and the issues in your way as you're getting set up and as you're getting built on Heartbeat. And then even going further to figure out, hey, what are the best practices that we can put in front of your face as you're building things? What are the things that we've figured out from seeing over 7,000 communities that have gotten built on Heartbeat to put in your hands so that you are building with the best practices in mind and set up for success as effectively as possible. And so there's been so much thought that's been going into this that we're really, really excited to start building more and more of this into the product. And that's the same mentality that we want to do with this podcast and sort of with a lot of the founder brand stuff is, the aspirational stuff is cool, but like what is really the tactical stuff that you can be taking into your business day in and day out to make sure that, every minute of that podcast that you're listening to, you are actually learning and growing and putting in the work to build your business in the direction that you want it to go in. I've been fortunate enough to have a lot of both wins and a lot of failures in business. And so that's kind of the idea is let's take all of that and front load it so that you always start off with the best foundation when you're starting off on Heartbeat.
All right. And we've got love and excitement for that. Excited for a new podcast. Okay, Allison, now we're going to deliver. Now we got to deliver that for you. Rick's restarting his own podcast. Exceptional. Patrick also shared, looking forward to Brand Murtaza, which I think saying it that way makes it sound like we need to have some sort of perfume or cologne. I think the Murtaza, it would be a great name for a cologne, I think. Peripheral, yeah, TM that. Yes, I will. I will trademark that immediately. Awesome. All right. Community updates. Yes, upcoming events. So in the Hearth, if you guys aren't there, be there, get there, sign up. It's free. There's over 4,500 community builders in there right now. It's huge, guys. And this is where you get the first notices and updates of all the events we're running. So you're at the first August event right now, the Town Hall. We do these every single month. But coming up, in addition to when you can go back and watch all the replays, we have a new event. So this one is crafting a community landing page that connects. So yeah, thank you. Look at this. Like I didn't even ask for it. You're just going to go load it for me. Fantastic. We got 13 people RSVP'd already. I didn't even promo this sucker yet, and we already have people coming in here for it. Excellent. So if you want your community landing page to do more than just look good, this is how you can build the one that actually converts. It's not technical. There's no barrier to entry on that. It's talking about headlines, which sections you need, growing your audience with authenticity, and creating genuine connections with visitors. So like this is what you need if you want your landing page to actually convert members from convert visitors to members. Highly recommend you RSVP to this one. Nick, scroll it on up. I think it's the 20th, right? Yeah, August 20th, Wednesday, 1 p.m. Live session. As I say in my newsletter, I'll be there. I hope you're there too. How meta is that? Where I plug my own thing.
Love it.
Okay. Anyway, I'm a dork. Carry on.
Amazing. Well, let's go ahead and put a pause right there. So we've talked a lot about what we've done over the last month. We talked a little bit about what we've got coming out over the next month, next couple months. And so now what we want to do is take a little bit of time to address any of the questions that you guys have as you're building on Heartbeat, things that you want us to have our eye on that maybe we haven't paid as much attention to, areas of the platform that you want to see us give a little bit more love to, feature requests that you want to really like bang your fist on the table for. And before we jump into the section, what I again really want to underline here is that every single one of these feature requests we take really seriously, and we have totally shifted our entire product roadmap based off of feature requests. Siobhan mentioned earlier that the events feature, the events ticketing feature, came straight out of the support queue of people asking for specific ways that they wanted to build and use events, both in their community and in their business, that just weren't supported by Heartbeat. A lot of the features in the current implementation of courses on Heartbeat were actually all requested by one person who just kept banging their fists on the table over and over, and I think they came to like 2 town halls in a row and were like, you have to look at courses. And as a result, courses is probably our most utilized feature. I think we were looking at the stats recently, and it's about 70% of all communities actually have a course built and launched. So it's surprisingly high. And so any requests that you have that you want us to be keeping our eye on, things that we haven't spent as much time on, feel free to go ahead and drop into the Zoom chat. And what we're going to try to do is make sure to address every question that gets dropped in the Zoom chat before we jumped off today. Okay, so given that, let's go ahead and dive into our first question and our first note, which was coming in from Sandra, which says, hey Mike, with the docs, the hashtag is $, same as events, and often when I do a search, for example, $, the first letter of the event or doc Heartbeat hangs. I have a lot of docs in the resources, so it is time consuming to scroll through the list. Would it be possible to have separate hashtags for one for events and another for resources? This is really interesting. I 100% get where you're coming from, because I have actually experienced this in the Hearth as well too, where we do have like a really big resource library. So I appreciate you flagging this and bringing it up. I think here's my thinking, and feel free to drop into the Zoom chat if I'm thinking it the wrong way. I think what we want to do is still keep it closer to the $, because I don't want to create too many new conventions that a new community builder has to come in and use. But I also think that there's a lot more that we can do to improve the experience once you type in $, making it a lot easier to find the stuff that you need, or even just like filter down into like, hey, I know it's a doc, I know it's probably here, right? And quick filter directly there. So that's what I'm thinking is, I think within that $, there's probably a lot more that we can do to make it a cleaner, more effective search. So we're going to do some research and figure out exactly what best practices look like there, and how we can start pulling more of that into Heartbeat.
All right, looks like we got some agreement from Sandra on that I think elegance is what's needed. Yeah, because honestly, that's a great example. The Hearth is chock full of stuff. So yeah, and the more you succeed, the more you're going to have. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it's funny. Some of these features you build, and when you're testing stuff and building stuff, you have 5 documents, 10 documents, and then you build it and you launch it, and then 2 years later you see a community with 500 documents, and you're like, wow, this was not built with 500 documents in mind. We need to rethink this. And so it's funny that this is like one of those features. Cool. Rick asked a question which said, a while back I added an accountability circle and a feedback corner from the prompts within Heartbeat. Are those still a thing? I'm trying to add them to this account. Great question, Rick. So the short answer is they're not a thing. They've sort of transitioned into templates, which is magically appearing on the screen if you take a look. Yeah, just click that little drop down. Actually, can we go back a page? Magic screen. Sweet. And if we click that little drop down, you see the templates option right there next to your name. That's where you're going to find it. And so we've moved a lot of those over here. What we found is when we were previously doing these, there was a lot of just like automated stuff that was happening at once, and it was confusing. But the more important part was it was very rigid. Like you had to do it exactly the way that we set it out, or else the whole thing would break. And so that's what we've adjusted with this templates model, is we've made it a lot more flexible so that you can kind of build on top of it, and it's more malleable to like how you are creating your community. You can customize it to your users a little bit better. But yeah, for anyone that hasn't seen those templates, there are a lot of really great templates baked in. It's really easy to just jump in and use that as a starting point for building your community.
All right, glad that one was helpful for you, Rick. Thanks for the comment back.
Stephanie asked, is it possible to have a back to scratch button? Maybe even a one use, but something that allows me to put everything back to start. I now understand the platform a lot better. Ooh, good question. I have no idea. Here's the reason why I say that. This is one of those things where it's either going to be extremely easy or it's going to be extremely hard. And I have no idea which side of the coin that falls on. Mayhul's out of office today. He's feeling a little under the weather, so I'll ping this to him as soon as he's back in. But yeah, we can take a look. Because I totally get it, right? Like, you want to make these decisions. You want to play around and experiment. You don't want to be locked into all of your A/B tests and experiments and the things you're playing around with. So yeah, we can take a look at figuring out how to improve that experience a little bit too. Okay, next one, which was from Mark. So what is the suggestion for the best path to learning the platform well enough to launch? Great question, Mark. If you go to the Help Center, just help.heartbeat.chat, as is pulled up over here, that's going to have all of our tutorials, all of our guides, all of our resources, any questions that you ask at the top. Not only are we going to be able to allow you to search through all the docs, we also have some AI-generated answers that are pulling from all of our help docs that make it really easy. So there we go. So if we say, how do we make an event? The AI will actually pull some of this stuff. That's kind of accurate, but if you search in what's the ideal image size for threads, this is my common one. Right, so we have some AI summary stuff that will help pull some of this stuff out for you. But yeah, this is a really easy place to go in and ask questions. And then the other place that you can come to, if you just want a full end-to-end live walkthrough, is we run live tutorials every Tuesday, which is a whole walkthrough of the Heartbeat product. Not only do we show each feature and how it works, but we show you how people have used it in successful communities and best practices. And Nick is pulling up a link right now. We can just drop that if you want to in the Zoom chat, in the Riverside chat. I apologize. That way you can check out the recording from this past Tuesday. Okay, lovely. So the next question, which was from Tamara, which was about adding a... what did we miss? Oh, that's the jobs at Heartbeat. Nick really wants you guys to apply to jobs. Nothing else matters to him right now. The next question was from Tamara, which was adding a new currency into the offer section. So Tamara, actually, if you send that over to support, we can take a look at it. It just depends on the currency. Some of the currencies, just depending on local laws and regulations, are a little bit tougher to add, but most of them are pretty trivial to add. And so we can take a look and see if it's possible for us to add it in quickly. But we'll be able to let you know generally pretty fast of, hey, this is doable versus this is one that's going to take a while. And then another question, which was adding the ability to duplicate an onboarding profile. That's a good request. Yeah, we'll take a look at that one. We always forget about duplicate functions. I don't know.
Just so you know, guys, that little sigh that he makes is I didn't think of that one, but it's so good. Yeah, that's exactly what that was. Excellent suggestion.
What it was. Yeah. We always forget duplicate options. We make it so that you can create stuff, you can edit stuff, you can delete stuff, and then we forget, oh, you want to duplicate stuff. Yes, that is your prize for right now, is our love and affection and Siobhan's emoji reacts. But thank you. This is great. We love this. All right, see, this is why we do town halls. Okay, another question was from Rick, which is, I run 2 different communities, 2 different businesses, different emails. It would be awesome to have an option like Zoom where you can switch accounts in apps so I can get both easily. Haha, we do. So you can actually, in the app, in the mobile app, just click on it's the hamburger menu in the top left corner, or you can click this link. Yeah, you can click that link and it'll actually give you all the options for how you can search. But the short answer is yes, you can actually have different email addresses that are displayed. We just need one unique login email, which tells us that this email is associated with Rick. And so anytime Rick logs in, show that, hey, both these 2 communities are associated with him. But the short answer is yes, totally doable. Okay, Patrick asked, I wonder if we could have more course triggers prior to the course complete. So some members are asking for lesson triggers, such as on complete lesson, add to event. We have actually added that in recently. So now whenever you're creating course lessons, Mike, this is so cool. You just say something and it appears on the screen. I feel
It's
the
fun,
magic of
right?
this,
It's
right?
so good. Yeah.
Yeah, so you can edit any course, and you'll see on the bottom right corner this automated workflow section. This will allow you to start triggering workflows over here. Now, in terms of the add to event, we don't have something like that ready just yet. There are some workarounds that you could create. Yeah, so the add to groups one is the one that I'm thinking of, and you could basically create an event that's associated with all these groups of has completed lesson X, and then when they get added to that group, they will automatically get added to the event associated with that group. So that might be the easy way to do it, is add to group, the group is associated with the event. Okay, next one, which was it's been hanging. It's the hanging that has been frustrating, and my members use resources a lot.
This was related to that question about the hashtags, the $ tags.
Got it. Okay, cool. Yeah, actually, generally, and I know we didn't touch on this, but that's because I think we just forgot to. We did actually officially contract a performance consultant that's helping us with Heartbeat. Just a lot of the back-end performance. How are we loading information? How are we loading objects? How do we do that more effectively and efficiently so that Heartbeat always feels like it's really fast, really snappy? So that person actually started a week ago, 2 weeks ago now. And so they've kind of gotten through a little bit more of the onboarding pieces of this, and now what they're doing is focusing more on building out better monitoring systems so we can track and figure out proactively what are the areas that are hanging, and then from there start pushing fixes more proactively and more aggressively. And so that way we don't have to wait and rely on a bunch of people telling us, hey, this thing is slow. We can just proactively see that load times here have increased. Let's go ahead and make that update. So yes, we do have a lot coming in. Sweet. Okay, next one, which was from Nicole. Another little glitch I've noticed. When you post an emoji before text, it jumps one space. So for example, Mortaza, the cursor jumps between the M and the U, which caused me to start typing in between the word. Instead, can you make sure it goes before the M? That's weird. Okay. Yeah, we can take a look at that. I have a hunch for why that's happening, but we can take a look at that. Alrighty, next one, which was from Stephanie, which said, it's so hard right now because there's so many intricacies with groups and chats and roles and member groups. Yeah, we are continually trying to get better at this whole journey. I think this was in reference to the onboarding in terms of just like how to improve the onboarding experience for new members. And 100% I agree. I think the piece between groups, all the content and then offers and then sign up pages, like that whole sort of diagram still does feel really confusing. It's one of those things where I think technically on the back end, it allows you so much power once you figure it out, but there's such a steep learning curve to figuring it out in the first place. So that's a lot of what we want to do, is how do we like really aggressively reduce that barrier to entry and make it so that when you jump in, it just feels intuitive. It feels like you can easily understand, what's going on. So all to say is a lot of tests and improvements that we're running just to get better and better at that. It is a complex piece of the product, but I promise you we are getting better at it.
And to that end, it was remarkably simpler even 12 months ago. And so like the amount of features you guys bring to us that we keep building is all about empowerment, but also we don't want to burden. So like that's the balance of how do we deliver it to you in the right way.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, next one was from Patrick, which is, can we also look at how we can add some more reporting metrics to user progress to help identify which users may be stuck in courses for the next lesson, next module? Yeah, I like this. Yeah, we can look at this, Patrick. I like this a lot. Because I think you're 100% right, is you want to be able to nudge people along when you see people getting stuck. And, right now, you are kind of expected to go in and analyze the data yourself and try and figure out who and when to send stuff to. But the idea is, the platform should help you do a lot of that, right? Like you generally know if someone's been stuck on a lesson for, more than 7 days or more than 14 days, it's pretty obvious that you want to go in and send them a ping. So yeah, we can take a look at this. Next one was from Nicole. Can we have a profile that doesn't show up in people who have viewed a post? If I remember correctly, we do have the ability to do that with invisible users. Is that correct, Nick? Okay.
Yeah. So you can turn an admin invisible, if that's what this is in reference to, in which case you can do something like this here. If I go to my settings as an admin, I can toggle on this, and basically it will hide me in the community once I do that as an admin.
Awesome. And then another question, just I'm guessing a follow-up was, are only admins invisible if that is their role? No, so the way it works, Nicole, is if you are an admin, you have the option to become invisible so that you don't show up in the scene by counts or things like that. But only admins have that option to even turn on invisibility. And when you turn it on, it's just for you. It's not for all admins. Members cannot turn on that invisibility. Okay, next one was, can we make the trigger for on lessons complete the only trigger for the... Oh, we talked through this. And then Tamara asked, if there could be a roadmap of steps, then all the articles explaining what it means. Once you get it, it's really easy, but it's really hair-pulling to figure out, offers access groups. Yes, we are continuing to improve that, and that's going to also be part of improving a lot of the admin onboarding that we're looking at right now. Cool. Big agreement from Stephanie as well. Love that. And then Sandra asked, okay, quick question. Is there already a feature request for showing if a DM has been read? I would imagine so, but I haven't seen it. It's something that we track on our end. It's probably something we can take a look at. Yeah. Okay, Nicole mentioned that there is a feature request. Yeah, we can take a look at that. Yeah, one thing we want to do is take a look at the DMs and the chat channels and take a look at some improvements that we can make there. It's not like an immediate feature update, but it's something that we're looking at probably closer to the tail end of this year, because I think there's a lot more love that we can give to just the chat channels and as well as the DMs in general. And then on the back end, they actually use the same technology, so any update that happens to DMs will also happen to chat channels and vice versa. Okay, I think we are at the final question, which was from Tony. I would love a way to see I would love a way to switch my view to see the entire community as a user would. Is that possible? Oh man, Tony, you saved the toughest question for last. So this is a weirdly difficult thing to do, to just be able to flip a switch and see it as a user, because there's also different types of users, right? If you have your community with like a bronze, silver, gold level, then it gets a little bit harder. We see a lot of people create like a just dummy user profile. They'll just use like a different Gmail or a different account and do that. I agree, it's not the ideal solution. Here's what I think we can do is, once we scale up with some of these engineering hires, we get them fully on board and we have a little bit more engineering capacity, I do want to take a look at this, because I think it's such a simple and like common feature request that is something I'd love for us to be able to handle more elegantly. But as of right now, I think we don't have the capacity, but I think we might in like 6 months. So let me ask Mehul to take a look again then. Sweet. Okay, I think we have covered all of the questions so far. Anything else that I missed? Siobhan, Mike, Nick, anything else that we're seeing pop up?
I'm just seeing that like 8 folks who are extremely active in the chat all have test accounts to create their own visibility as a member would see it.
Yeah. Yeah, the ideal product experience is not that I have to make a dummy account to be able to like see everything that's happening that my users would see. So very much recognize that, and we're going to take a look at that. Awesome. Well, we're a little bit over time. I want to be able to make sure that you guys are able to get back into your day. But I just, from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys so much for joining on live and spending so much time with us and giving us so much feedback that helps us build really what we believe is the best community platform in the world. And that's how we do it, right? Is we work with you guys and we listen and we try to get as much feedback as possible. And so I want to say thank you for showing up, for being present, being honest, and then voicing your concerns when they popped up. This is really, really helpful. And we always review this feedback as a team right afterwards. So thank you guys again for showing up live. We're going to go ahead and jump off and sign off now, but take care everyone, and we hope to see y'all at the next one. Bye you guys.
Bye.